Hello and welcome to the Loop Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Elise Stieferman, Director of Marketing at Cookieless. Today, we're joined by Cookieless President, Sean Cotton, and Vice President of Marketing, Ryan Green. Let's get started.
Digital marketers in particular have had a lot of pressure to prove ROAS, prove the efficacy of your dollars. With attribution being less of the conversation in a cookieless future, what should marketers be doing to analyze whether their campaigns are actually successful? And then, how should they just evolve how they view success?
Well, it starts with putting in place a measurement strategy before we even launch our campaigns, marketing campaigns. And what are the business results that we're going to be tracking, and how are we going to tie those back to what we have in market at any given time? And what are the key metrics that we will look at as signals that indicate that we are impacting those business results by our media? When we first started discussing the cookieless future a few years ago, we would make the statement, it's time for the real marketers to stand up, because it takes away that easy button that we've talked about before of just these ready-made audiences. Place some pixels and we can directly assign actions to the audiences. And as that goes away, it's really kind of a return to relying on marketing strategy and business strategy, and having a in-depth understanding of who our consumers are, where they spend their time, what their triggers are, whether it's psychographics or other behavioral attributes, and creating media plans around that that build awareness, consideration, and intent. The old-fashioned marketing funnel that still works. The advantage we have now is the programmatic technology that we've used for the last 15 years can be applied to do that faster and to be more nimble in making optimizations as we analyze the business results, and to shift our media in real time to get the greatest ROAS that you're speaking of, as opposed to running a quarter and looking backwards and saying, well, this seemed to work and that seemed to work, for the next quarter we'll do this, and then waiting another 3 months before we make adjustments. We'll be able to combine the best of both worlds, the programmatic technology that we've become skilled at over the last 15 years, and those tried and true marketing principles.
I think you have to take a step back and say, how were we measuring ROAS over the past couple of years? And was that really accurate? Because what's happening along with the deprecation of the cookie is also an increase in walled gardens. And there's already a lot less interoperability of sharing of data, in particular measurement data. So if an advertiser is able to say, hey, on Facebook, I was getting an 8-to-1 ROI 2 years ago, was that really accurate? Did that really tie to growth in sales? So maybe going back and saying, hey, maybe, and admitting that maybe we didn't measure it correctly when we did have a little bit more perfect data, or when we had more transparency with the data sets that we had. Going back and really making a good audit analysis of what was accurate and what needed to have work, that's going to help put the vision for what that ROAS analysis is going to look like, because it is going to be different. What's old is new again. Going back to the marketing funnel that's worked for a while, looking at media mix modeling that I think we'll touch on later in this episode as well. Could be things that are going to blend some of the more manual processes that you look at quarterly with the automation that we've become skilled at over the last decade, to be able to fuse both of those worlds together and ultimately bring a better, more accurate, reliable model and product for brands to be able to go to their C-suite, be able to go to their board of directors and have faith in the analysis that they're bringing forth.
All right. Well, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ryan. I think that was a really valuable conversation and an important one, and look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Thank you for listening. Cookieless is an industry-leading performance marketing agency based in the Midwest. We've learned a lot since our founding in 2014 and started the Loop Marketing Podcast to share some of our hot takes on marketing trends we're following, best practices we've discovered, and actionable tips for improving your digital strategy. We'll see you next time.